Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Get Seller Leads, where we talk about what's real in the market, what's actually working, what's actually not working, not try to beat around the bush. And with as many agents as are struggling out there right now, we get a lot of questions in our business, and we just wanted to answer a lot of these top questions for you. So we're going to go over the top 10 questions that you agents out there have today to help you get to your next close deals, to your next 100K benchmark. But first, Eric, how you doing today, buddy?
A lot better than you.
Yeah. I'm a little bit under the weather. We got something going around in our house today. So Eric might be doing the majority of talking on this, but that's okay. He's the one that works with more agents than I do, right? Being the team leader, being the brokerage broker manager. And yeah, just has a different perspective on it versus me, who's more of the agent role, grinding it out individual deals. Eric sees, things from a little bit higher perspective. So you ready to get right into it?
I am, yeah. You want me to?
Sweet. And we're going to start with the big one, right? We're not going to string you out and wait till question number 10 to ask what you really want to know. We're going to go to getting consistent leads right now. How do I actually get consistent leads right now? It's what everybody wants to know. And I'll be honest with you, like we haven't been floundering, like we've been doing okay, but we've also been in the trenches for 10, 15 years generating leads. But I know agents that just dabble in it are really, really struggling right now. So Eric, what's your take on your favorite consistent lead generation right now?
I'm going to answer that here in one sec, but I thought it would be good maybe if I do a quick, here's everything we're going to go, the answers we're going to go over today. So if you're watching it, you kind of know what is coming. So it's how do I actually get consistent leads right now, which I'm about to get into. Then we'll go into why are none of my leads responding? Then should I still cold call or door knock? How do I survive financially with fewer deals closing? What's the best way to stand out when everyone's doing the same thing? How can I use AI without it being overwhelming? What kind of ads actually work with sellers? How do I get listings in this market? Should I join a team or go solo? And what should my daily schedule look like to actually grow? So
sweet.
That's what we're going to go into. All right. So back to what we're starting with. How do I actually get leads right now? Well, if you want consistent leads, there's one really simple answer. I think you run paid advertising. And right now, Facebook paid advertising is working better than anything else. You're going to get a consistent stream of leads, but you got to spend a little bit of money.
Yep, totally. And have you ever looked into a lot of the referral based lead programs out there? I mean, I've poked at them, but I've never signed up for any of them. Do you have any firsthand experience with them?
I don't. Like Zillow, I think sells buyer leads. I've never done it.
Yeah, I know there's Opcity and there's a bunch of other ones that are pay per closing or whatever. I've just never used them myself. We've always been in the trenches with generating the leads, right? With these other pay per closing sort of companies. But I know there's a lot out there, right? And so if there's no risk up front, it's always a trade-off, right? Check equity or sweat equity. If you're willing to pay the money up front and learn how to run the ads, then you're going to have better success, and it is going to be cheaper, right? You maybe spend $500 to $1,500 per deal versus, if you do a referral-based deal, you might be spending $3-4 grand, right? By giving them 25 to 50% of every paycheck. But there are options out there like that. Look at that. But if you got any questions on actually generating your own, just reach out to us. Let us know. That is literally what we do. Go on.
There's another way to bring in consistent leads that you're doing. From what I'm seeing, working pretty damn good.
Yep.
But if you do YouTube right, you can get consistent free traffic, and that keeps Alex's phone ringing pretty good from what I'm seeing with buyers and sellers.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, that's been working good. It's consistent is the tough part, right? I think to be consistent at it, you got to be at it for a couple of years, at least in a competitive market, right? We're talking Seattle, San Francisco, LA, Denver, the North Charlotte, North Carolina, right? Boston. you got to be at it for a couple of years for it to start paying dividends, I would say. But yeah, once the
I want to
train is
add
moving,
something to that though. So after you started having success with YouTube videos, like good success, but this summer it was really starting to pick up. I started doing it, and so I haven't been doing it for 2 years. I've got some YouTube ads I was putting up consistently, so it's not like a brand new channel. I mean, a channel I probably had for like 5 years, but it was very inconsistent and done very haphazardly with no strategy whatsoever. So I'm not coming in from completely new channel, and I don't know how much that impacts the algorithm, but I'm completely new at going about it the right way. And I had 1,900 views on the video I did 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
I've had a few leads come in from it. So, I mean, I don't know. Maybe you don't have to do it for 2 full years. Maybe
You just got to accelerate your learning somehow, right?
Yeah.
Because it's easy for us to want to try to reinvent the wheel, right? And like be this creative genius. And that's something I've learned from years of working with Eric is that you never know what's going to hit, right? And you can learn out there from others that are doing it and accelerate your growth rapidly. So again, you can go, check out our YouTube channels to kind of see. There is kind of a formula. There's a lot to it, man. Shit, I paid 10 grand for a YouTube course earlier this year, but because of that, I mean, I had my first. I mean, I don't even know if I should brag about it, because I've still got the check sitting here on my desk. It was my biggest payday ever, to the tune of $72,000, right, on a single deal. It was massive, right? So I am definitely going full bore into YouTube now that my channel has taken off. But I think maybe more importantly than that too is like a billboard, right? So if you're generating any leads, you're talking to any people, you need to reinforce the follow-up, right? And the conversations. And I know with Eric, you've been doing your weekly email now for a little while. And the video, you're never going to know who's stalking you on the back end, right? You talk to somebody, whether you're cold calling, whether it's Zillow leads, whether it's using leads through us or Opcity or whoever the heck it is, right? You have to follow up, right? And you have to give them valuable information. And I'm sorry, but valuable information is not picking up the phone going, "Hey, Jill, you ready to sell yet?" Like, that's garbage. That's nothing. That's desperation. Sending them valuable information. "Hey, Jill, just wanted to let you know, like, this is what the market's currently doing. I know you were thinking about selling, but maybe you want to hit the pause button," right? And reinforce it through video. They don't want to talk to you. No one does. Like, let's be real. But they might watch you, right? 1 out of 10 people might watch a lot of your YouTube stuff. And so when it comes time for them to take action, you're just hoping to be the person that they use, right?
Yep.
Okay. And this kind of feeds into number 2. Why are none of my leads responding? This is a fun one. All right.
Yeah.
Eric,
So in my opinion, it's because a lot of them were tire kickers to start with, and they might come back around eventually. So you got to keep touching every one of them, which is another great reason to do YouTube along with the paid advertising, because you run the paid ads, they become part of your world. And if you're doing YouTube videos, it's just another way to reach out to that person every week, where it's an actual video you're talking to them instead of just an email or a text message. Email and text is great, but video is even better.
100%. And I think right off the bat, right, if you're paying to have leads generated, speed to lead is extremely important. Like, it still is. Alex Hormozy had one of his mentees on, and he noticed on the balance sheet, like, this one lady who was a salesperson, her numbers were like double everybody else's, just through the roof. And he was like, "So what's this? Who is this lady? Like, I've never seen her in the office or anything like that." He's like, "Oh, she's a stay-at-home mom, and I pay her 60 grand a year, whatever it is. And her only job is to respond to a lead within 30 seconds. That's it. Put everything down, drop everything you're doing. We only get 2 to 3 leads a day in, but she responds within 30 seconds. That's 100% her job." And her close rate was through the roof, right?
And it makes sense too, right? Because that was the time when the person was thinking about buying a house or selling a house.
Yep.
And in 10 minutes, their phone might go off, something else is going on, and that's not the time anymore that they're thinking about buying or selling.
Yep.
And so you have to have that magic of like, you have to make the connection with the person when they're ready to connect with you. And
Yep.
then they'll keep working with you because you've started to create that relationship. But otherwise you're just hoping that like one of the times you reach out happens to be the time when they are ready to talk to you.
Yep. Just magically there. So systems are super important, right? We integrate Go High Level really deeply and it's instant, right? We're not leaving it up to chance to connect with people, right? From scheduling a meeting to auto text messages, to auto dialing phones, right? To the voicemail drops. Like we don't leave any of it to chance. If you're going to pay for leads, you need to take advantage of it 100%, period. And then going back to providing value, right? If you're just sitting there saying, hey, all the standard scripts, of like, hey, is it time to buy yet? Is it like you're not providing any value when they're ready? They will let you know they're ready. And if they're beating around the bush, it's probably because they're not ready or they don't want to work with you. They're just nice enough to pick up the phone. So provide value over everything else, and eventually you'll guilt people into working with you. Period. All right. This is a good one too. Cold calling and door knocking. Should I still do it, or is it a waste of time?
Yeah. So in my opinion, it depends on your current financial situation, right? If you can't afford to pay for leads, this isn't even quite cut and dry this way, right? Like it has to do with time and money, right? Let's say you have lots of money, but you also have lots of time. Then you should be running paid ads. And to the extent that you have the time, because maybe your deal flow is slow at the time, you should also be cold calling or door knocking. Like if real estate's your business and you have time, you should be working, then you should be cold calling and door knocking and running paid ads and responding to those ads.
Yep. Totally. Something that, a little twist on that too. If you're in the business and you're newer, hell, even if you're not newer, doesn't matter. You can go to any team lead, any agent who's been doing this for a long time. I mean, I'll take myself, for example. I've got 6,000 old leads. And I can't tell you how many times I've kind of pushed them on to other agents or stuff like that. But if I had a newer agent come to me and be like, hey, Alex, I want to kick ass. I don't like to just cold call people out of the blue. I like to be a warmer touch. Do you have any old leads you're not working anymore that if I got them, I'd give you a 10% rip on it, right? Something low, right? So that way, because you're going to spend a lot of time with these people. I don't need 25%. I'm not fucking working them anymore anyways. You can go to a bunch of older agents and work their old lists. And hey, my name is Alex. I'm with Denver Property Team, and you reached out to Monica years ago about possibly selling your home over on, Main Street over there. I'm just checking in because we haven't checked in a long time, but do you still own that property? Is this still something you're thinking of, or should we just take you off our list? Right? And just have a warmer touch. I'm kind of going through and doing some house cleaning and checking in on everybody. No, I still own the house. It's just not the right time yet. Okay, great. Well, when it is the right time, do you have an agent you're currently working with? Well, not really. Okay, well, do you mind if I just keep up with you via, a weekly email that we send out? And that's it. Awesome. Thanks. Talk to you later. There's opportunity out there. If you want to hustle in this business, it's not terribly hard to get it, and you can do it with a warmer touch than just the cold outreach if that's not something you're up for, right? Door knocking, shit, I've never done it. I can't speak to that exactly. I don't like people coming to my door. I work from home. I friggin' hate it. But that's me, and some people crush it while doing that. So I think to get back to Eric's point, is it should be a combination of everything from paid ads to, yes, the time equity right now, cold calling, door knocking. Everything works if you work it. Okay. Period.
And I want to add another technique with the cold calling to warm up a cold list. Besides, if you don't want to give a 10% rip to other agents, this isn't free. It costs money, but it's not a lot of money. I recently bought a list of 280 people that I used to use PropStream. So super cheap, easy list. It was people that are having financial problems that have a lot of equity, that have been in their home since before 2000. It's a list of people that have tons of equity and they need it because they're having financial problems.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good list. And I used AI and automation through Go High Level to send out text messages, emails, physical letter that were all custom made for that particular person, using ChatGPT to do research on them and custom make the emails and the text messages and and I'm physically setting the text from my own phone too, by the way. So I'm not, there's a fine line between just like letting automation try to do everything where you're not connected to that lead and like they know it and you know it. And then, but instead of having a text message go out to this person, AI has already like done all the research and figured out what the text should say for that individual person. And I have it text me, hey, text this person this. And then I just copy paste it and send it out. And it's a great way to warm up a list before you start calling, and then later I get for all 280 people, it's dripping through them like every 10 minutes, like a new lead, a new thing. And so then my phone will be like, hey, now call this person and talk to them about this. So that's working. That's a good way to do it.
Yeah. There's lots of tools at your disposal, folks. Use the crap out of them. All right. With as tough as it's been the last year and a half, I do think we've probably lost 50 to 60% of all agents out there already. I think they're doing other things. They've, lost it. There's not enough deals to go around. If you're not already heavily in real estate and have been for a while, or just are willing to put in the effort, we'll put it that way. How do you survive financially with fewer deals closing? Like if you only had 2 deals on the board this year, right? You're making 20 grand so far this year. What's your suggestion for people to just make it?
Well, I think that there's no way in hell that you've been putting in even 40 hours a week and only have closed 2 deals this year. So that's the first thing. And it kind of goes back into what we just talked about with, should you do cold calling? And you should be doing paid ads and the cold calling. And if you don't have enough money for paid ads, then just do the cold calling. But you need to be working in your business. Or you're not going to have closings. But so let's say you have been doing all that work and you're closing no deals. So I find it hard to believe, but if that's what's going on, then you need to look at what you're saying to these people. Like, what's your approach? And don't keep doing the same thing over and over and over. Don't beat your head on the wall, against the wall, right? If you're not closing, let's not even say that. Let's say you're cold calling 10 people a day, right? And you don't have even 1 meeting a week. So that means out of like 50 calls, no one's raising their hand and say, come meet me at the house. Then you're saying the wrong thing to these people. And we're going to get into that here in, I think it's the next one, but best way to stand out, right? So we'll get to that next, but you need to have a better value proposition so that when you're cold calling these people, you can get them to let you into their home and try to build that relationship better.
Totally. And I think with 10 cold calls, I would base that on like talking to 10 people, right? Not necessarily just, 10 individual dials. And I think we get wrapped up like the services out there, RedX and the cold calling systems that have multiple different numbers. And you got a list of 1,000 people and it's dialing 3 people at a time. Dude, everybody knows that you're cold calling them when you use those systems. I'm going to tell you that right now, because there's a few second delay from them picking up the phone to you saying, oh, hey, Michelle, this is Alex at Denver Property Team. Like, and right off the bat, and a lot of those numbers get spammed out, so the pickup rate is less. If you're on a triple line dialer and 2 people pick up at once, what happens to the other person? They just hang out in outer space.
Well, right? That's where the secret is. You just have your system, your automation system. Like when we use Go High Level, but you could use any of them, like Follow Up Boss, doesn't matter. Have them just remind you to do something. like on your own, physically with your own damn cell phone.
Yeah.
Don't use a dialer. Just pick up your damn phone and then put their phone number into it and then talk to them. And
Yep.
it's your name on the caller ID. And you're not. And when you do text messages, you can't just copy and paste the same message. So even if you need to use your own phone, but above that, you also need a custom message to each person so that they don't start spamming your number out.
Yep, totally. If I were to call 100 people on a list with my cell phone, I would maybe connect with 15 to 25 people, right? If I was to go through a triple line dialer on those same 100 people, I would be through those phone numbers in 5 minutes, and I'd probably connect with 1 or 2.
Right.
That's just the reality. So if you want to actually talk to people, which this is the game, right? If you talk to 10 people a day about real estate, you will have consistent closings. That's it. And if you don't, your communication is garbage.
I would go as far as to say, if you are using a good list, like one I just described earlier, you don't need to even talk to 10 people a day. I think you just call 10 people and maybe you talk to 2 and you leave like 8 voice messages.
Yep.
Right. And then also text on top of those calls. Yep. And maybe not the same people. Maybe you text them one day and then you're calling them the next day or whatever. But if you make 10 attempts and you do it 5 days a week, you even take the freaking weekend off, like that's 50 calls. And you probably are only going to talk to like 10 people out of that.
Yeah.
Connect. I think even out of that, you should be able to get a meeting. Like 1 out of 10 talking to them on the phone, you probably should be able to set up a meeting.
Yep.
If you have a good offer that you're telling them on the phone.
Yeah, totally.
Which we're going to get into next. We're not going to leave you hanging on that.
What's the best way to stand out when everybody is doing the same thing?
I think it's doing the exact same thing that we've been doing for a decade now, and I call it a fix and list deal. But if you're calling people cold and you have nothing to offer besides, hey, I'm a realtor, you're not going to get a lot of meetings. But if instead you call people cold and you say, I can buy your house for cash, even though it's probably not how the deal is going to go, but you're going to promise you're going to give them a cash offer, and you are, and you can always wholesale it if they do take your low vol cash offer, but there's an easy way to steer away from that cash offer. You tell them you're going to give them a cash offer. You tell them that you fix up people's houses with your own money before you put them on the market, that like other realtors are just going to put your house on the market. I'm going to make it perfect first and then put it on the market. And I'm even going to give you cash right now. I mean, if we go look at your house, I'm going to go look at your house. I'm going to give you a cash offer. And I'm going to tell you right up front, I could get you more money if you let me get it ready and sell it for you. You tell them that, and then you tell them, I can write you a check. If this is Monday, you're talking to them, like I could cut you a check like on Wednesday for $20,000, $30,000, $40,000. You've got equity in your house and you don't have to wait for it to sell to get that equity.
Yeah. Yep. And I think the conversation can go like this. Once you are talking to people, right, whether that's a lead that's coming in that already kind of knows what you do roughly, or it's just completely cold and they just, well, why would, okay, you're potentially thinking of selling in the next 3 to 6 months. Totally get that. And I just want to let you know, I'm not your typical realtor, right? We come with an investing background. We're heavy about the numbers. So what we can do where we're a little bit different is we're going to tell you what we think you can sell it for on the market currently. That's easy. Everybody can do that. But we're also going to get you a cash offer for it, right? Which is your easy path of least resistance, close in 2 weeks or whatever the heck you want. It's done for you. But there's a third option here, which makes us stand out. And we can actually come in, fix up your place, carpet, paint, landscaping, whatever it is. Also, we can give you money in your pocket now, 10, 20, 30 grand, right? And so you can move on to your next living situation. You don't have to worry about showings at the same time while moving and blah, 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 and all this junk. But we can essentially cash out part of your equity now and then do work on your house to fix it up to get as much as possible in the least stressful way possible. So I understand you're several months out from selling, but there are, a lot of things that go into it. If that makes sense, and that's something that's of interest, You know, I'm going to be in your neck of the woods on Tuesday. You know, I got a meeting at 10. I'll be there around noon. What do you think? And that way you're more of a consulting guide than you are just a salesperson, right? Oh, I can list your house. Everybody can list your friggin' house. Someone can list it for $500. Doesn't matter. What are you offering that's different than everybody else? Right. That's it.
Yeah, especially if you're using a cold list that's likely to have financial problems. Then you're talking to people that are going to be way more receptive to like, oh, you can write me a check like tomorrow.
They
Yes,
don't care
come
about
live in my house.
everything else is just fluff in that conversation, folks. I'll just be honest with you there. When you drop, well, I could give you 20 grand of your equity right now. Right. And all they think is, shit, I owe 2 months on my mortgage. I owe my phone bill. I owe my insurance. I owe my car. And so how much do you get paid on that 20 grand? Oh, we make 20%, and it's 6 months or whatever your house sells, whichever comes first. So yeah, if you want 20, we'll be owed 24,000, right? But we can give you that check tomorrow. Right.
Well,
but that's besides the point. If you want to sell your house, like this could be blah, blah, blah. But that's what they want. That's what they want.
So like I'm meeting with a guy named Kyle today at 1:00 in Denver. That was from a paid ad lead, right? But it wasn't cold call, it was paid ad. But that guy, like literally our conversation went like this. Like, I got terrible news for you, dude. Like, you bought your house in 2023 and you way overpaid for it. Like, and I probably can get you sold today for $60,000 less than what you just bought it for. Like, I know that's terrible.
Yep.
I'm not going to blow smoke up your ass. That's what the situation is. It sucks, but I can give you a check for like $40,000 tomorrow. If in the end, I still can't, I can get you money quick and I can get it sold and I can get you like only a 60 something $1,000 loss, but that's what it is. And that hook of like, I can get you money quick for this person. And for a lot of people right now, like was enough to get the meeting. So,
yep. Totally. Yeah, they can't refi. They can't do a HELOC.
No.
You know, and so they don't have access to their capital is what it is.
Right. And this guy actually owns his house free and clear. So, I mean, they're not all like that. But a lot of people do have a lot of equity because they've owned their house for a long time. Especially if you're cold calling, if you pick a list that's owned their house for a long time, they're going to have tons of equity. And it's very safe for me or you or any agent to write a check. You know, you could use a home equity line of credit on your own house to get the cash. You could use a 401k loan to get the cash. You can, borrow it from a relative if you don't have it and pay them interest, right? You get the money and then you lien their property. And if they have a ton of equity and you put a lien in place, it's a really safe loan, even if the person has like terrible credit. It doesn't matter.
Totally. And I know there's a lot of nuances on that. This might sound like, something crazy to a lot of agents, but look at it this way. You have a $400,000 house, right? And you know they're going to sell. That is what's going to happen in the next handful of months. You stand out by making this offer and you're going to make approximately, we charge more. I charge 3.2 to 3.5% on the list side when we loan funds or we do any work on anybody's house. So instead of just your traditional like 11,200 on the deal, I'll be making 13 plus, right? Mm-hmm. Plus, then you're making another 20% on top of that. So if they borrow 20 grand from you, there's another 4,000, right? And so now all of a sudden, a deal that you would normally make 11 something on, you're north of 17,000, right? For the same deal because you solved more problems than anybody else. Period. That's all they care about. They don't give a shit about your track record. They don't care that you sold 200 homes in the last year. They don't care. They don't care that you're with Berkshire Hathaway or that you're with Compass or that you're with some luxury elite Keller Williams team. Because
you're going to give them a bunch of money like right now.
Yep. We beat those agents every single day. Why? Because we're solving their problems. Period. So I know that's complex. So if you have any questions, feel free to drop me in the chat. If you're not watching this live, we'll get back to you. All right. Fun one, which is changing daily. How can I use AI in my business without it being overwhelming? I'm going to say ask ChatGPT how you can and start there. But Eric, what you got?
Yeah, ChatGPT is the quick, easy, like go ahead, start there. Like if
Yep.
you haven't done any, use AI for anything. And I would, once you get into it, you'll quickly understand how it's going to make your life insanely easier than it is right now. Never write an email again.
Yep.
Let ChatGPT write your emails. Let it brainstorm with you. I think of it more of like a thinking partner than completely offloading. But something like writing an email, like a mass email to your list, just let ChatGPT do it. If you're coming up with a title for a YouTube video, think of it
Yep.
like a thinking partner, right? So I think there's 3 tools. If you were gonna start using AI from scratch right now, assuming you're gonna use YouTube to put out videos every week, which I think you probably should be doing, there's 3 tools. If you're not gonna do YouTube videos every week, then I have 1 tool, and that's ChatGPT. Just start with that and get the paid pro. Use the ChatGPT 5, the paid version. Right? It's cheap. Like what you use that was like 20, 30 bucks a month.
20 something a month. Yeah.
Yeah. Do it. Hands down. Everybody should be doing that. I don't care who you are or what your deal is. That's money well spent. Then the next 2, if you do YouTube videos, I would get Pixel, P-I-K,
Z.
yeah. How is it? Oh man. I had it open in a, of course, I had it open in a tab and I was going to go look at it and I clicked on it and closed the tab.
Yeah. Pixels. Pixels.
Yeah. Use that to make your thumbnails. Now, Alex is, I'm lazy and I use their AI feature that puts my face on the thumbnail. I know that's probably not as good as actually just, yeah, it's not probably, it definitely is not as good as using an actual picture of yourself,
Yep.
like, and overlaying it onto it. But you still use Pixel. You can use Pixel to make thumbnails without using their AI feature of your face. It makes thumbnails from your YouTube video, and then use Canva to overlay a picture of yourself over the top of the thumbnail.
Yeah, its background stuff works really, really well, for sure. So what's your third one? ChatGPT, Pixel.
You already know what I'm going to say. Descript, DESCRIPT. It's going to do your video editing for you.
Yep. 100%.
Yeah.
And just to give you an idea, like to share how we're using ChatGPT. So let me share just this morning, right? And we're constantly looking for new things to generate leads, right? So I came in and I told it, hey, I started a series of YouTube videos about retiring in the Denver metro area. It's 5 different videos, and we'll likely add more to it over time. These videos don't tend to get many views on my channel, but they're really valuable. I also have a download that is pretty extensive. That is a guide that people can download. That's my call to action in the videos. Click or scan this QR code to download the guide. With only a couple hundred views per video, I'm not going to get many leads from this. What are a few ways, including paid ads, that I can use to turn this into a lead magnet that performs? Now, I've run a lot of paid ads in the past, but it's always going to give you different ideas, right? That you're like, oh yeah, totally, that's what I should freaking do, and just like lay into it. And you know what? It lays it out pretty good. I didn't share with it the current landing pages or anything that I built for it, but step 1, repurpose your existing asset into a lead funnel, right? Create a dedicated landing page. Great. The Denver retirement blueprint, key elements, like, and it goes through and says, hey, this is how you should build your landing page. Awesome. Now create lead magnets to have the guide, and you can separate it into smaller guides that are more specific and more niched. Paid ads, right? Facebook and Instagram ads. And I was thinking YouTube ads, but it's right. I should be running ads like this for a retirement guide on Facebook. Why? Because that's where the audience is, right? And so it has interest, which you really can't do for housing. But then it can give you ideas of what the ad format is. And then it says to retarget them, anyone who watches 50% plus of your videos. And then you can run YouTube ads for it. Like, it goes through and it helps you have a plan, right? And then you kind of tweak it and adjust it and go, oh, hey, here's actually the download. Here's my current landing pages. Make it better, right? And then it comes through with some great friggin' ideas. So you need to use this no matter how good you think you are. It is a great kind of boiler room idea generator, even if you know what you're doing. And it's pretty solid. So yeah, hopefully later today I'll have some retirement guide ads running, and I'll keep you posted on how that stuff goes.
Cool. So, hey, can I show something quick since we talked about paid ads? I know it's not necessarily like one of these things on our list, but
totally go for it.
Share my screen super quick. Share screen. All right, can you see my screen, Alex?
Yeah.
Did you put it up on the stage?
You did.
Oh, good.
Oh no, that's me. Let me share you.
Can you do that?
Oh, there we go.
All right. So I run two kinds of ads. One's for buyer leads, one's for seller leads. The buyer leads is just this carousel ad on Facebook. And it's just pictures of houses that I've done. And I say looking to downsize in Denver. The reason it's looking to downsize in Denver is I specifically want to work with older people that will go house shopping with me during the day. You know, if you're
Yep. And very much likely have a house to sell.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. And it's because I don't want to spend my nights and weekends showing houses. So it's a better ad. But that's bringing in $8 a piece buyer leads, which is cool. And then I've showed on several occasions the ads I run for seller leads.
For sellers.
So
which is getting into the next one, which is what kind of ads actually work for sellers in this market. And more specifically, like home value versus cash offer versus downsizing, and what kind of hooks or offers are converting right now.
Yep. So it's been the same offer proposition for over a decade. It's get an offer on your home, sell your house fast and get the most cash. Click here to get an offer.
Yep.
That's it. Goes to a website, says, hey, get an offer, or we buy houses. Click here to get an offer on your home.
That's it. And what is your response to every agent out here who says, I don't buy homes? Why would I do that?
I haven't bought a home now for 9 months. So, I mean, I do buy homes sometimes, but it's pretty rare. And I'm super bearish on the market. So my cash offers have gotten so freaking low that I really don't buy houses anymore. So yeah, who cares that you don't buy houses? Neither do I. Tell people that you're going to give them an offer on your home. That doesn't mean you're going to buy it. You're just going to give them an offer and then give them an offer. It also positions you to be able to advertise without all the constraints that you would have if you were advertising as a realtor. So not only is the message more effective because people that want to sell their house want an offer. So you're telling them what they want, which is way more effective than like, hey, click here if you're looking for a realtor. Like, nobody's looking for a realtor. They're not going to click there anyway. But even if you were doing that, now you've got to show your brokerage's phone number and their name, and there's all this regulatory shit around you because you're acting as an agent and you owe a fiduciary responsibility now to your potential leads even. And it's just not the right way to approach this. Approach it as a home buyer, even if you don't want to buy homes.
Yep. And if you think you are not that agent, because that's not what you do, then you haven't been in sales long enough. Period. Like, you just haven't. Like, there's a reason why Black Friday sales are running like the TV they have the least amount in stock of, right? Because it's the best deal that no one will get, right? And it's right, wrong. Otherwise, it's there. The cash offer is there, and we'll legit, try to make that happen as best as we can. But we're also advising people, right? They're reaching out to Opendoor. They're maybe reaching out to Zillow. They're reaching out to 5 other companies to get a cash offer. And most of them are big conglomerates that are not local, real, legit people. And so I can have a different conversation with that person because I'm here. You're over there? Yeah, I'm like 10 minutes to the west over at Yale and I-25 area. Like, been here since, year 2000 from Chicago initially. But yeah, talk to me about what's going on with your house. Like, Opendoor is not having that conversation with them. right? To build the relationship. All it is an opportunity to build a relationship. And going back to Eric's point earlier, if you're talking to 10 people a day, right, 50 people a week, and you're not making progress, then you suck at communicating.
Well, I'd go a step further and even say, if you are a real estate agent, your job is to help people sell their house. And if that's your profession, like you're saying that you're helping people sell your house and you refuse to give them a cash offer on their house, then I think you suck as an agent.
Yep.
I think as an agent, you need to be also giving cash offers to people and advising them on why they shouldn't take your cash offer. But it should be an option on the table. Why are you refusing to get people out of their house quick? If their situation is Guido's going to cut their thumbs off if they don't sell their house by the end of the week, how come you don't have an option to help them?
Yeah.
You're supposed to be a real estate professional. You can't figure that out? Like,
Yep.
How come?
Yep.
Stop
Totally.
sucking. Figure it out. Wholesale it.
Yeah.
That's
all right.
Yeah.
So kind of piggybacking, we've answered this a little bit, but how do I get listings in this market? Another question I'm going to join on that is, do you want listings in this market? Right? Let's adjust it, because we've kind of already answered how to get listings in this market, right? Cold call, you do all that stuff, talk to people, and business will happen. But do you want listings in this market? If you had a magic wand and I was to say, Eric, you instantly have 20 fully pre-approved buyers that are going to buy by the end of the year, or 20 listings that are going to sell by the end of the year, which would you rather have? Knowing that there's going to be complications in both, right?
Man, 20, huh?
20.
All right. So if they could be like kind of put out slowly, like I get 2 this week, and then
100%. Yep, totally. That's what it is. Yep.
All right. If it's like that, I'm taking the buyers.
Ooh.
If I have to take them all right now, I'm taking the sellers hands down, because there's no way in hell I can deal with 20 buyers at the same time. You can't do it. It's physically impossible. Yeah. But you could deal with 20 sellers at the same time. But I guess it's by the end of this year, right? And it's already October 7th. It's almost not enough time to work 20 buyers.
Yeah.
If it was 10 and 10, I'm taking the buyers. If it's 20 and 20, I'm taking the sellers.
Okay. Good to know. Yeah, I think that's a good one. Yeah, I think I'm in a similar boat. You know, there's all the what ifs, like price ranges and locations and stuff like that, but it is drastically easier to handle 10 to 20 sellers than it is 10 to 20 buyers. It just is. Even if they were all at $1 million, right? You know, and I'd probably try to take them both, and I'd tag team somebody else to kind of help me. Hey, Eric, we got tag team these buddies. Let's do it. Take it all. But yeah, I would say buyers today, if it was just trickling in one every few weeks of a client, the buyers are, as long as you can get past the paralysis analysis on buyers right now, they're performing better. Like, you're talking the legit people who want to buy, who have the money to buy, who aren't bullshitting, and 18 months down the road, which you never truly know, but yeah, they're performing better lately, because when they're ready, they can actually buy something, right? And they have options, and you just got to work with narrowing down those options to help get them into a home.
Yeah, but houses are still selling. They're just selling for less, and getting people to understand that their house value is lower. Like the guy I'm going to talk to at 1:00 today, that right away, first thing in the conversation was, your house is worth $60,000 less than you just bought it for in 2023.
And you're going to be competing with someone who says, yeah, we can list it at 580, like what you bought it for, or 20 grand more than what you bought it for, try to make up your costs on owning it. And he might go that route.
He might. And I'm not going for that. That's not my route. I want the listing at 520, not 580. I want the 520 that's going to actually sell. I don't want to waste a bunch of my time and have a bad relationship with a guy that I lied to about the value.
Totally. That's what we're up against. All right. If you're new or you're just struggling, right? Should you join a team or go solo? right? Forgetting the brokerage for a minute because teams are different than brokerages. What would your suggestion if you had a cousin that was in, whatever, different state, pick your poison, Texas. They said, hey, Eric, how should I start this business? Should I join a team? Is it worth it?
Man, so it's all about the right team. I would say most of the time it's not worth it. I would say most teams are a waste and they're just going to skim off a bunch of your commission. Most are, but then there are some really good teams out there that are not a waste and they're way better to be part of that team than not. You just have to be able to shift through the bullshit and find a good team.
Yeah.
Which is hard. Most of them
totally.
are not good.
Because especially at the beginning, I would say, yes, do the team to find out what you don't know, right? Look at the splits. If you're making less than 50% after everybody's split at the end of the day, that's way too much, right? I know some teams who people are making 15 to 25% of the total commissions, right? Because it's a Zillow lead that's taking a 50% cut, then the team's taking 25%, brokerage firm is taking 10, and you're left with nothing at the end of the day. But it's kind of like the reverse of the Gary Vaynerchuk, quick to hire, quick to fire thing. It's the same idea, right? Be willing to join a team, find out their inner workings. How much are they going to help you versus how many calls did you make today? How many people did you talk to today? Are they actually coaching you up and teaching you stuff, or are they just wanting to see your production at the end of the day? And be quick to hop teams, right? They're in it to make money. Don't get me wrong. That's the only reason why they run a team or a brokerage, is to try to make more money than they could individually.
Yeah. I'd say you probably get more out of just our YouTube videos and our free group than you will off of 90% of the teams out there. Yeah. And we're not asking for anything.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. But you just have to show up, right? 80%, 90% of this job is just showing up and just putting in the work. Every agent that I know that has failed, it's very few that have put in the effort and not seen six-figure years every year. It's almost impossible to do. You talk to enough people will accidentally use you, even if you suck at your job. That's it. All right. Daily schedule. We've talked about this a couple times in the past.
I love this.
Yeah, totally. I've fallen off my wagon a little bit, but daily schedule to actually grow in your business. What do you include on your day-to-day routine that helps you be a successful human being?
I never thought I'd say this because I had the absolute opposite opinion of this when you first showed me that you were doing it. But today, I was wrong. In the past, I thought you don't need to track every call you make. You don't need to go into that level of detail. That is a waste of time. I would rather shoot myself than take a spreadsheet, update it with how many calls I made, how many meetings I went. That's how I felt when Alex first showed me what he was doing. I was like, you gotta be shitting me. You do that. but now I'm gonna take and do an entire 180 and say, I think it's actually the most important thing I do. And I'll show it really quick.
Yeah, buddy, show it. All right. So I haven't seen this, but for the first few days that Eric started doing this. So this is the first update I've actually heard. Now, we pay a lot of friggin' money for a lot of CRMs that are supposed to track all this shit. But it's totally different when you have to manually hit a button.
Is my screen on stage?
Yeah. But we're seeing the infinite zoom.
Still right now?
Yeah. So we're seeing your Chrome, and there you
are. And there. Do you see the spreadsheet?
Nope. Now you're sharing the window versus sharing an individual.
That's exactly what's going on. So remove this. Stop share. Share screen. All right, now can you see it?
Yeah, there we go.
There, my realtor outreach numbers. I started it on a Tuesday, 9/23. So it hasn't been that long. I'm on my third week doing this.
Yep.
But calls, meetings, deals, closings. That's
Yep.
And then I'm also tracking like what I'm doing with YouTube to make sure I get my video done.
Shit, yeah.
100%.
So
it's not that many, right? Like I had 20 people I called 2 weeks ago, 33 last week.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's a lot of agents that would look at something like that and go, "Oh my God, that's all that you're doing?" Like, but like, it adds up, and I'll show you guys mine too, because I if you're not doing this, like, you need to be. This is my yearly production, right? Here's 2025 totals so far. And yeah, I'm sure you're seeing it all, but like 826 calls, 472 connects, 40 meetings set, 36 attended, 17 contracts signed, 15 deals closed. Right? Like that's my business in a nutshell. It doesn't have to be like this crazy, grinded out, making 100 phone calls a day. You just got to be good at what you do. You got to offer something different that other people are offering to stand out from the crowd. So when you do actually talk to somebody, you have a higher chance of getting in front of them. And if you get in front of enough people, you should be able to close 1 out of 3 in-person meetings. That's my take on it. If you're not good at your job, 1 out of 4, right? I'm 1 out of 2.6. This year has been a little bit better. For me, 1 out of 2 meetings. But my strategy has changed a little bit. And I've had more buyers this year than I've ever had. And so it's just a little bit different. So
the initial meeting with a buyer, right? That's just showing them a house.
Yeah.
That's it. Then you try to get pre-approvals done and a listing agreement signed and all that. But with a seller, it's meeting them at their house and going over, after you've already kind of vetted them and tried to, you don't want to waste your time going and see a seller, for instance, that they bought their house for, using the numbers used earlier, 580 in 2023, and it's not going to sell for more than 520, and they're like, "No way am I selling at 520." Well, like, don't even meet them. Like, you're not going to close 1 in 3 or 1 in 4 meetings if you're going to go meet in person that guy. Like,
but if you're only an agent, so here's where it's a caveat, and I'll maybe not disagree, but have a shift on depending on where you're at in your career and what offerings you have. We do flip some houses. We do have different offerings, right, than a lot of other agents out there. I get that. You can have them too. It's real easy. We're not doing anything groundbreaking here. We're just doing it appropriately. If you're a brand new agent, you need to get your reps in. You need to go meet with that person who wants to sell for $1 million when their house is worth 500,000. You have to figure out over time what disconnect there is between you and some sellers out there. I mean, there are some people today that I'll just cut them off and go, you know what? I actually don't think we're a good fit to work together. So if you want some referrals, I can send that to you, but bye. Done. Because I know who I can work with today and who I just cannot, personality wise. But in the beginning, you need to get your reps in and, be meeting with as many people in person as you can, walking into as many houses as you can, just to continue talking to people. And maybe, who knows, in 3 years when that person is actually going to sell and the market rebounds or whatever, maybe they think of you, right? And that would be more of your traditional agent role. We can turn up and down our businesses depending on what time of year and how much we want to spend and stuff like that. So we're a little bit different, and we get that most agents are not like that and don't have that flexibility. So yeah, that would be my only comment there.
All right. Well, it goes both ways too. Like I didn't vet a guy as good as I normally do. Friday, I wasted my time driving down to this guy's house to see him. And halfway through it, I was like, why am I here? Like, I should have vetted him harder before I agreed to the in-person meeting. So remember, you think how many people you could cold call in 2.5 hours that it takes you to drive over and meet some guy who thinks realtors shouldn't make a commission and only cares about a cash offer that's $50,000 more than the current value. Right? don't talk to that guy. And we have a different opinion there. I think you maybe should vet people at least a little bit, right? If the cash offer they're looking for is higher than what you could even get selling it as an agent on the market
Yeah.
after commissions, then you're probably not going to get there with them.
Yep, totally. But I think it's a natural progression. You gotta understand who isn't your profile client, and sometimes that takes taking
That's a
some
great point.
lumps.
Some of it's a feel thing, right? And we can sniff it out on the phone now, but how many people did I waste my time with to get to the point where I can sniff that out on the phone? Like,
Exactly.
there's something there.
Right.
Yeah.
And how many times have you had a meeting where someone was like that up front? Like, oh, I'm not taking a penny less than 400.
Yeah.
And then you realize like a month later, they're entertaining 320
Right.
because everybody is in the same boat and they actually need to sell, but they're realizing no one's going to give them. They've gone through one or two different wholesalers and they've been, beat around the bush so many times. And all of a sudden they come back and they're like, so are you really still a buyer at 320? Because these guys are wasting my time at 360 and 350 and taking a bunch of people through my house. And it's a bunch of bullshit. Right. Okay. Well, let me come back on over, let me make sure that it's right. Or talk to my partner. I'll come through with, my GC and let's confirm it and let's pencil it up. Right. But you wouldn't have been there in the first place had you not, been through that. But yeah, it comes with experience over time and you got to get your reps in. So again, talk to people. The more people you talk to, the more deals you're going to have. So, all right, folks, if you got any questions, feel free, drop them in the chat. But I think that's it for today. And hopefully this does help you guys just break through all the noise. There's so much freaking noise out there right now. So if you're in the business and you're still going, I commend you. Once we're out of this weirdness in the market, you're going to be having more business than you can shake a stick at.
Yeah.
So keep going. And again, if you ever need anything, just reach out, let us know. And until next week, have a good one.
Later.